The story begins in the far north, where the cold wind howls like a beast grieving across an endless sea of ice. Huo Yuhao stands alone before Zhu Zi, a woman who once saved his life and who now stands as the Empress of the Sun-Moon Empire. Between them stretches a gulf of hatred, war, and memory. At this moment, Huo Yuhao originally came with the intent to end all karmic ties by killing her with his own hands. But as he stared at her familiar eyes, the scene of the Wolf King's fangs ripping toward his throat flashed through his mind, followed by the image of Zhu Zi throwing herself forward without hesitation to shield him. That debt, deeper than blood, weighed on him like a mountain. With a trembling breath, Huo Yuhao lifted the blade. But instead of swinging it toward Zhu Zi, he turned it and plunged it directly into his own chest. Warm blood gushed out, staining the ice red. He repaid her grace with his heart's blood. Zhu Zi watched in shock as the man she loved knelt in the snow, giving up a part of his life for her sake. For a moment, even the freezing wind quieted. But Zhu Zi did not simply take this drop of life and let it fade into the snow. She secretly preserved the blood in a special soul tool, forming the seed of a scheme that even she could not fully foresee. She returned to the Sun-Moon Empire, where Emperor Xu Tianran, infertile, cold-hearted, and filled with paranoia, had already devised a political plan. To silence the royal court and stabilize his rule, he intended for Zhu Zi to undergo a false transplant using the so-called bloodline of the imperial clan. Zhu Zi outwardly complied, but in the critical moment, the metal tube she handed the imperial physician hid a shocking truth. It contained not imperial blood, but Huo Yuhao's heart's blood. That single drop changed the fate of nations. Soon after, a child was born, Xu Yunhan. Officially, he was the crown prince of the Sun-Moon Empire. In truth, he was the secret son of Huo Yuhao. Zhu Zi hid the truth deep within her heart, locking it away beneath layers of ambition, resentment, and love. The years passed, and every time she watched her child grow, every time she looked at his eyes that resembled another man's, her emotions twisted into knots she could never unravel. Her final collapse came later, when she witnessed Huo Yuhao embracing Tang Wutong again, reunited in affection and warmth. In that moment, a lifetime of despair overwhelmed her. She rushed forward without thinking, ready to spill everything, to tell Huo Yuhao that the child he had once treated as an enemy emperor was in fact his own flesh and blood. But she never expected that a devastating warning would descend from above. A golden light shot from Tang Wutong's forehead, piercing into Zhu Zi's soul like a divine blade. A voice, ancient and majestic, echoed directly within her spiritual sea. It ordered her to keep silent, threatening that both she and the child would vanish completely if she dared to reveal the truth. This was the voice of Tang San, the sea god, the god king, the guardian of the god realm. Terrified to her core, Zhu Zi could only swallow the truth again. Years later, her battle against destiny continued. After Xu Tianran died, Xu Yunhan ascended the throne as a young emperor. Zhu Zi claimed the title of Empress Dowager and held the empire in her palm. Yet her inner world was already a ruin. When she learned that Huo Yuhao and Tang Wutong would soon enter his seclusion, her emotions finally collapsed once more. Overwhelmed by hatred she could no longer restrain, she broke her promise of peace and launched a massive war against the Douluo Empire. Her decision ignited the continent once again. During the final confrontation, Huo Yuhao captured the young emperor Xu Yunhan, forcing Zhu Zi to halt her army. With grief, exhaustion, and betrayal weighing on him, Huo Yuhao proposed a chilling solution. He would take Xu Yunhan away and raise him for 10 years to ensure he would never again threaten the world. This idea shattered the last of Zhu Zi's calm. Terrified that her son, the only warmth in her life, would be taken from her, she fell into hysteria. And in that madness, the secret she had buried for years finally burst out of her chest. She cried that Xu Yunhan was Huo Yuhao's son. The world instantly froze. The sky dimmed. Space itself cracked like shattered glass. An incomparably majestic pressure swept across the battlefield, and the true form of Tang San descended from the heavens, dragging everyone into a separate divine space. Tang Wutong turned pale as she asked her father whether the claim was true. Tang San, his face dark as a storm, confirmed everything. The truth tore Tang Wutong apart from the inside. The betrayal felt like a blade through her heart, and Tang San's rage exploded. To prevent future chaos, he prepared to kill Xu Yunhan on the spot. Divine pressure surged like a tidal wave, locking onto the trembling child. But Tang Wutong, through her pain, still had compassion. She knelt and pleaded with her father to spare the boy. Her voice, filled with heartbreak, was the only thing strong enough to stop a god king's wrath. Finally, Tang San relented, withdrawing his killing intent. He took Tang Wutong back to the god realm, leaving the mortal world behind in silence. Only after they vanished did Huo Yuhao fully regain his senses. Trembling, he turned to Zhu Si and demanded the truth that had shattered the heavens. Zhu Si, cornered by fate, narrated the events of the far north, confessing how she used his heart's blood to conceive the child. At last, Huo Yuhao understood why, from the first moment he saw Xu Yunhan, a vague sense of familiarity had stirred in his heart. Mixed emotions surged within him: shock, remorse, confusion, sorrow, and an indescribable heaviness that crushed every breath. Eventually, he ascended to the god realm, determined to kneel before Tang Wutong and beg for forgiveness. But waiting at the entrance was Tang San himself, brimming with divine fury. He coldly declared that if Huo Yuhao wished to see Tang Wutong, he must defeat him first. The battle that followed was utterly one-sided. Against the sea god, a god king who once ruled the god realm, Huo Yuhao was like a candle in a hurricane. He was struck again and again, his divine body breaking apart under the overwhelming power. In the end, he lay on the brink of death. Only after Xiao Wu and the other gods intervened did Tang San finally stop, sparing Huo Yuhao's life, but leaving him covered in wounds that would never fully heal. Thus, a single drop of heart's blood ignited a tragedy that rocked both mortals and gods, binding their destinies in pain, regret, and irreversible choices. And so, the truth that began with a single drop of heart's blood ended with a storm that swept across both the mortal world and the god realm. Lives were changed, fates were broken, and even gods were forced to confront the weight of human choices. In the end, no one emerged unscarred. Zhu Si lost everything she once clung to. Tang Wutong carried a wound deeper than any blade could inflict, and Huo Yuhao bore the crushing price of a past he never intended to create. Even Tang San, a god king above all, acted not with divine calm, but with a father's fury, showing that even gods cannot escape emotion. As the dust settled, the continent fell silent once more. Yet the consequences of that one forbidden secret would echo across generations. This is the story of love twisted by destiny, of hatred born from despair, and of a single choice that reshaped the fate of a world.